in front of everybody. Last week was my first week here, and it was fun. I didn't have anybody come and see me. I didn't tell anybody I was coming. I didn't want my family, my friends, or my husband to see what I was doing, just in case I was to bomb, because a lot of comics will say that you're going to bomb the first time. So I didn't want them to see that. So I didn't tell anybody I was coming. My husband knew I was coming, but he respected that and didn't come. He's here tonight, though, guys. My husband is here tonight. So, no doing any material about, my marriage, and then, nothing about him being a perfect ex-husband or anything like that. So we're not going to do any of those things today. But one thing I did this week after having had that experience last week was I went to my therapist and told her about everything. She's like, well, let's talk about why you didn't tell nobody nothing. And I'm like, well, my family tends to think that I'm either a big storyteller or a liar. So if I was going to bomb, I didn't want to do that. And my friends, well, some of them are crazy and bitchy. So, I was probably going to be talking about a lot of them. And I thought it would be kind of awkward if I was out here, talking about eating pussy and sucking dick and all that. My mom's sitting right in front of me, and I'm just like, oh, now I got to explain that. But it would have been probably just as awkward as when my mom came to a very homo-heavy pleasure party that I threw. Yes, who here knows what a pleasure party is? Okay, so a pleasure party is basically my way of getting my friends to buy big old dildos so that I can have free dildos. That's basically what it is. And during the party, the person that's hosting it, she's asking away questions, this and that. And again, mainly homosexual men were at this thing. And none of them can answer any of the questions, especially when she asked, what is analingus? Anybody? She's looking around. My mom was the only one with her hand up and won one of the biggest fucking dildos prize of the entire night, because my mother knew what analingus was, and all my homosexual friends didn't know nothing. Yeah, that was a little bit awkward. What was more awkward was knowing that prize was now in the house with us. But I didn't even look for it, for very long. But, so that was going to be kind of awkward. And, my family's a little weird. They tend to tell weird stories. My grandfather, my biological grandfather, never met him, but talked to him every Christmas, so I knew what this man's voice sounded like. And, it sounded pretty manly, and I knew he used to be a pastor. And my family had all these stories about him, and he's kind of crazy. But I finally met him when my uncle passed away and came for the funeral. And I am ready to see this big old scary dude, and this motherfucker was this tall. He was tiny. I'm like, how are all you guys scared of this little itty bitty fucking man? They're like, wait till he talks to you. I'm like, okay. Well, they didn't disappoint. My cousins, female cousins, young cousins, were all right next to me. We're sitting there talking, and my grandfather comes up to me, scares the shit out of me because I think he's coming out of the Shire and shit. And he goes and tells me, Miko, please tell me that you touch yourself all the time. Please tell me you are playing with your dick all the time. Excuse me, there are little girls right here next to me. What the fuck are you talking about? Well, this man continued, so I'm like, okay, I just gotta get him through the story. So these poor little girls with these looks on their faces like, what? These girls were mortified. And my grandfather proceeds to ruin one of my favorite rides at Disneyland by telling me, please tell me that you're always playing with yourself, because I was a pastor for the Catholic Church. They didn't let me touch myself, and because I didn't touch or play with myself, then they had to take the zip out of my doodah. The what? This motherfucker had testicular cancer when I was like 2, and they had to take the zip out of his doodah to get the cancer out of his body. So now I can't go to Disneyland and go on Splash Mountain anymore, because all I can do is see my grandfather at the end of the ride. Thanks. Yep, that's my family. So now you can see why I have plenty of material to be standing up here and talking to people. But I also I have some really interesting friends. Oddly enough, one of them is a friend of mine who is transgender. We always have these talks all the time, because I have been a hoe for a very long time. So I don't really, I love dick. It is what it is. But I will play in every field there is. Why? Because it's fun. I like the chemistry of somebody, not necessarily what's between their legs. But I decided to to talk to a friend of mine about pronouns because she brought people to, I used to be a teacher, and she brought this group to our school to talk to the high school students about, acceptance and pronouns and all that. And I'm like, okay, acceptance, I get that. And I didn't really know much about the pronouns at the time. I was like, he, she, okay, cool. And she got in my face about, you gotta be more understanding of people and their life stories. Okay, what is that supposed to mean? Well, if you get triggered, I don't want to hear nothing about it. Okay. So they're going on talking about their pronouns. And she knew me since I was really young, and I used to be over 400 pounds. I've lost a lot of fucking weight. I dropped the Backstreet Boys. I lost 237 pounds. So I lost a lot of weight, but I was a fat motherfucking kid. And yeah, a lot of shit happened. And a lot of things are said when you're a kid and you're fat. And they started talking about the pronouns, and it was he, she, zim, zer. I was like, what the fuck is zim, zer? The fuck is that? I still don't understand it. And then I hear one of the kids say, my pronouns are they, them. Who, bitch? Oh, hell no. I was triggered than a motherfucker. I hated hearing it. They're like, why are you so upset about that? I'm like, you want me to be understanding other people's story? Well, listen to my story, because I don't like those pronouns as a pronoun. Well, why? It's just who we are, we're they and them. I'm like, no, not to a fat kid when you are being made fun of all the time, and all of a sudden you're walking down the hallways and the kids are saying, oop, there they go, because your fat ass is more than one person. And then they follow it up with that circus song. You think you're gonna like a pronoun of they and them? That's not gonna happen. People are not gonna be happy about that. You want me to be understanding of your story? Understand, fat kids don't like that shit. But thank you everybody for listening to my stories for a little bit. Thank you for supporting local comedy, and give it up for my husband one more time. I do. Thank you very much.